Hi, welcome to my tube. I'm Marge. I'm a yoke empath. I just like having these little conversations and the way I feel about things. I'm watching a bee right now, sucking water off the end of my. Oh, see if I get a picture of it. My water bottle. Yeah. Look at that. It even has like beams of light and stuff. How cool is that? I'll put it up on Snapnax later. It's a pretty good shot. It's a lot better in real life. I actually have beams of light going through there. What can I say? I'm divinely blessed with some snapnacks, even when I don't mean to. Now the sun's shifting. It's hot today. I got some sun on my face. I got some color. I like getting color on my face. Adds to my character. I'm a hothead though, so I gotta be careful about my temperature. I'm a hothead. And people like to play with hotheads, and I don't know why they think it's such a good idea to mess with hotheads, but I highly recommend that you don't mess with a hothead. People like poking the bears. They're going to be poking bears this weekend, and there's going to be a lot of bears that are going to be eating faces off this weekend. It's going to be a gnarly weekend. And my button isn't working. Technology is so weird right now. If you get your stuff to work, good for you. Yay you. Yay you if you can get your stuff to work. My stuff works pretty okay, but like it's just weird stuff that you can't that there's no explanation for. Like earlier, I was listening to my laptop in these, but it sounded like they were on a different wavelength, like it didn't connect. It sounded like it was muffled, like I was listening to it in a can kind of thing. And what I listened to it on, but when I connected it to my mobile device, this the sound quality was normal and good. So I had to unsync it or disconnect it and then actually resync it, and then this it made its connection again. But I wonder how many times people will just like think, oh, that sounds weird, it must be broken, time for a new pair, don't even try to troubleshoot. I'm a troubleshooter. I just like to fix shit. I just have always, haven't had always had the money to replace things to the how I want them, because I got a wild imagination. And so how I wanted to live life wasn't necessarily congruent with with what other people thought of I was worth, because I could never do stuff that I wanted to do, because evidently all the stuff I like is really expensive stuff, but I just like what I like. It's other people that set the prices to things, and they set them so freaking high, it's ridiculous, and now all the greed's out of control, and the whole world's about to combust, but that's alright, because from after the world combusts, and the waters raise, and lessons are learned, then once the dust settles, then we can reemerge as like a phoenix, from the ashes, a better version, a better version of what we've been. All of us, because if people do this inside, if they show up out in the world, acknowledging the wreckage, your character defects, then maybe you won't be so pissed off at other people for having the same stuff that you got. Because those are hard lessons for me that I had to learn. Everybody talks about, oh, I dated a narcissist. I was with a narcissist. Sam was talking about that today, Sam Geppy. I'm just an empath, and I was with a narcissist, and I got gaslit, and you know what? Everybody has free will. And I thought that those things before too, and then I realized, wait a minute. If I spot what I got, and I so freely recognize narcissistic behaviors and tendencies in other people's, and I need to look at that in me, and that's what I did. That's how I found out about the ego and the spirit. The balance of it all, It's not just being, even people that are so far in spirit is an imbalance, and there's detriment in that. Too much of anything, too much of anything, regardless of how good it is never good. Just like if something is too good to be true, it probably is. That's why I don't ever want anyone to get the wrong idea about me. I got my shadow stuff too. Heck, I don't have personal relationships in life. I gotta do YouTube videos and talk to nobody by myself to make connections with people, because evidently I'm oh so sensitive. But I think what I figured out is I'm sensitive. That's all right. That's true. That is for surely true. I am a sensitive being. Thing of it is I pick up on people and things about people and energies about people, and people don't want those stuff to be found out. And better worse, they don't want to change the behaviors that are tied to that detrimental, no vibrational frequency. They don't want to change their behaviors, and now it's like they're going to be forced to change their behaviors, because the whole world is going to see people for who they are, good, bad, or indifferent. Whatever people been hiding is coming out. I don't care what people hide. I don't care what people do. I'm Scorpio moon, man. I'm all about the shadows all the way up through to the light. I'm full spectrum. That's why I have learned so many valuable lessons in life, is because for every being that I come in contact with, I'm like, they are full spectrum too. Let's see how much they are intact with the fact that they are full spectrum. And usually people just hang out in the shallow end. Working hard or hardly working. 9 to 5, 401k, 3D paradigm. Got my voted sticker, politics, organized religion, economics, all that stuff. All that stuff that when you take your last breath, none of it's going to matter. And there's the spirit. And it took me a long time to become congruent. And I think one of my saving graces to come into finding my balance is meditation. And I'm up to about an hour and a half, 2 hours a day now, to disconnect from all this stuff. Because I was just trying to explain that to Mom. I said, you know, I said, everybody's getting more and more sensitive on this planet. Everybody's getting more sensitive. I said, it happened to me 3 years ago when I stopped going to work every day like I had, because I couldn't leave her anymore. My 8-hour days of leaving her. And I could like maybe come, but she needs more care than that. She deserves better. And when she moved in with me 12 years ago, that's a lifelong commitment, and I'm not. So I was like, when I started, and I got real sensitive. I got so sensitive, because when you have your whole world stripped away as you understood it, what you realize is going to work every day and all that crap you watch on TV and all the nonsense sports and all that stuff that people can't do anymore, aren't doing anymore, all the restaurants and the bars and all the social crap and entertainment industry and all that stuff. There's very little spirit in that, but there's a lot of opportunity in it. So it created imbalance. And so all these people, I don't care if you're in sequester, you're locked up in your own house and your life has changed, you're lost. I don't care what your circumstances are and the situation is. Everybody's life has been affected this year in 2020, year of clear vision. Everybody's has. It's been impacted in some capacity. So a lot of people now, and because of these, people got real used to just talking about whatever they thought, just talking shit to whoever they wanted, because they're hiding behind these. And then they're getting in the mentality that they're getting used to doing that mindset. It's like, okay, well, it's so easy to, it's so easy to speak my mind here. I'm going to take that out in the world, and they're doing that. But the thing of it is there's like different mentalities of people that come from different backgrounds, and you pop off to the wrong person, and you're probably going to get punched in the mouth. And people that ain't never been punched in the mouth, they're like, oh, I can't believe. Oh, I can't believe. Oh, the things that people can't believe that have been examples of my life. And I am just one of many people that these monstrosity things have been happening to, but because people have profited from, our lives have been discounted. We've been discounted. And there is no vibrational frequency in being discounted. And so all these people that have been, you know, harmed by the no vibrational beings for like the last 500, because people have a chance to do better and act better and do right, and then for the world to get the way that it is now, they didn't do what we were paying them to do. So now the karma's coming. And it's gonna be crazy, you know, because there's a lot of people that are disturbed, that are imbalanced, and they got anger and rage inside them that they didn't know would ever match to inner energy that they you know, because they're gonna freaking hurt people, and they're gonna be like, shit, I didn't even know I could do that. Now they're gonna be in the system, going to jail. You know, all this stuff is happening. I mean, it's been happening. I'm just saying that now. See, because energy, it flows. Everything goes in waves, right? And for every wave, there's like a breaking point. There's a point that it's at its peak. And the energy is building up for people to just keep doing different. You know, the changes aren't happening fast enough. These they keep meandering, and it's just like the universe is like, you better hurry up, better hurry up, better hurry up, better hurry up, better freaking clear the wreckage of your past, just not be a dick and be a decent human being. Better hurry up, better hurry up. And people are like, I'm gonna make $1 million by taking advantage of this chump, and this person is in a bad way, so I'm gonna, you know, the scams all over, man. Scamming people right now is a wrong. People need to really learn about energy. They really do. I'm going to move this over one more time. There we go. My animals are all fired up today, too. If you know senior citizens and things like that are sensitive, and other sensitive types, really try and reach out to them right now. Just check in. Maybe bring them a little ice cream, you know. Something to raise their vibes, you know, sit with them a little while, get them to talk about stories of, you know, that make them feel good and things like that. It's really important to get their vibes to raise right now, because we got this full moon energy on Sunday, Sunday, Monday, and it's all fire. And for people that aren't used to fire, man, and if you have like someone that like, you have a lot of fire energy, and people got to think about alchemy too, and they got a lot of air energy. Maybe, you know, not hang out with them this weekend, because sometimes fire and air can has a propensity, it can kind of cause flashes and flares and stuff like that, you know. Anyway, what else was I going to talk about? Yeah, if you start getting stirred up and stuff, and getting hot and all that stuff, it's definitely a weekend to go within, and it's definitely a weekend for self-care, and self-care never ever includes alcohol. It never includes alcohol, never ever. And this is one of those weekends. It's a no booze no booze weekend. Yeah, you know, just be, you know, just be in love. Just try and be in that loving vibration. And sometimes that's hard for me, man. So when I talk to people, I'm telling myself this to me too, you know. And when I say things like "don't poke the bear," I'm saying things like, if I have to go out for whatever reason, and if someone is being in a hostile nature, that I don't need to poke the bear either. You know, there by the grace of whatever go I. You know, I don't sit here and talk crap about people all the time because I'm a freaking jerk. I do it because I recognize my personality, character defects in everybody else on a daily. So I can't, it makes it hard when you're that self-aware. When you get to that point, you can't even hardly get mad at people anymore. You know? I really like Sam Geppy and his perspective on things, because I just wonder about, you know, how different the world would be if they just left feelings out of it. But everybody has to wrap their feelings up into everything, and I can do it too. But, you know, there's a balance. because for years I shut my feelings down because it's just easier to just not deal with just, I'd eat my feelings and I'd drink my feelings. I was never really promiscuous because it's just never really my thing. I guess my spirit always knew the karma that is related to chasing sensations. And I'm not saying haven't had my encounters. I just saying that that's never been such a priority that's driven me. I was thinking about, how people perceive their worlds and how I perceive my world and how the world reflects back to me always every time is based on how I behave, and I can't anymore blame anybody else for how. I mean, I've never been big on one. I'm one of those that believe that I am an autonomous spirit having a human experience that is responsible for my own feelings, and nobody else on the planet is gonna control how I feel. So nobody gets to hurt my feelings. I hurt my own feelings because I keep dealing with the same people that I know who are gonna act a certain kind of way. Okay? So people can't, I just like to just nix that ideology, because every now and again I get some Weisenheimer on my come into my house on my tube, walk in my living room in my comments and shit on my floor and try and tell me a little tidbit, and it's always some asshat that doesn't have a picture in their profile and they got no fucking content. It's every single time it's that bitch. It's probably the same person. So accountability is going to be huge. And that's the thing, is the people who, integrity isn't just, oh, I always do the right thing. Integrity oftentimes is, I try to do the right thing, and this is what I thought the right thing was, but it didn't work out that way, and mistakes were made, and this is what I did, and things happen, and this is what I learned from it, and this is what I'll take into it next time. But you get these bureaucrats that just have made the world where you just throw money at your freaking discrepancies and cover things up, and it's all a bros club because too many freaking meatheads watched fucking The Godfather with their daddies when they were young men, and now this is the world we get. Because the movies and politics are intertwined, and it's all the same. It's all production, it's all smoke and mirrors, and it's all bullshit. And the cracks of society keep getting wider, and the people that need help with things, they can't do all the stuff that they, that need, That's why I'm all excited about communal living. I'm looking for a roommate. I'm looking for maybe, I don't know, we'll see how this one thing goes, and if this doesn't go well, then I'll be looking for a roommate, because, I don't know what's going to happen. I listen to a lot of astrology, and the potentials exist for a lot of different timelines, but it always is going to be contingent on free will of people and how they're going to act. It's really great that, all these people are locking arms and they're standing up for something. There's other steps that should be taken first. And maybe people are going to start taking them. Who knows? Maybe they're doing it and I just don't know. I just am one perspective. I'm just a data collector from where I've been, different points of the globe, latitudinally and longitudinally from where I've been. I've seen some places, I've done some things. I've crossed some paths with some people. I got a pretty wild story. And one of the reasons why I talked about one of the no booze weekends is because I can already feel the hankering. I can already feel the thirst coming up in me. So, I just make allowances to do things, do other things. But I think it's supposed to cool down a little bit here where I am at on the 45th parallel. Let's see some of the stuff on the news. So, because the protesters up in Portland, there's a candlelight vigil, and then at the candlelight vigil, some woman was stabbed and killed. In Ohio, there is a welfare check. Family of 5 dead, 3 kids, 2 parents. people's psyches are splintering. They're becoming disheveled. They're under stresses, and they just rather take out their whole families than leave anybody behind. They've been doing it since the beginning of time. Because once people get one idea, one linear idea of thinking, and they see that that life can't be lived under these circumstances, and there's no way to get out of these circumstances, that when they feel like they're a rat in a corner, they're gonna do ratty things that like rats do when they get trapped. And rats just being a rat, and it's you're the rat. And I personally like rats. I think they're cute. First animals we ever had, 2-3 years old. I have pictures of me with a white rat. I was doing the dishes, standing up on a chair doing the dishes. It's 3 years old with a white rat on my shoulder. You know. So hopefully folks aren't too stressed out. Hopefully they're staying grounded and they got a place to go that they can hang out with Gaia and tune into her vibrational frequency and just be at one with her and find some solace and peace in that, and don't put so much effort into try to, like Sam Geppy said today, to try to jump from, well, I'm kind of paraphrasing, but jump from one happy island to the next, People, that's what people do, chasing sensations, instant gratifications, and you just can't. Things aren't, the peace is found within these days. You can't, nothing outside is going to work anymore. People have been trying it. Now the karma's not even going to allow it. Like, the valve has been shut. It's like, no, you had your chance. Everybody had their chance. Okay, I'll do my homework assignment. I'll do my extra credit. No, you don't get to graduate. No, I promise I'll do it. Nope, it's too late. Graduation's in an hour. I still had a reoccurring, I did for a long time, about like not graduating because I almost didn't graduate, and then it's that vibrational frequency. It was like something not happening that you want. And what's, I love my night shift dreaming about stuff. People are really coming into their see, to me, dreaming is just your spirit having experiences in higher dimensions. While your body is recharging, your cells are rejuvenating, your body is fixing itself, is repairing itself from the damage that we caused during the day. And lucky for me, I cause a lot less damage than most people do. Because I used to live in my ego more. I had shit to prove. I was a short woman that had short man's complex. Because I was always more in my masculine energy. And until I figured out how to balance my feminine energy with my masculine energy, I just walked through the world with something to prove and a chip on my shoulder. And I proved a lot of shit, but I also did a lot of damage in the interim. So now I'm 1 3/4 shorter than I was a few years ago. I get migraines probably 3 days out of the month. I don't have them. All the other days I'm probably sitting at about a 6-7 pain threshold, and it don't even matter because I can't act like things hurt all the time, because then mom feels bad to watch me hurt. So I stay trim. I exercise. I eat my can of cookies, and those are the things and I meditate, and those are the things that I can do to alleviate the pains that I have, because I won't do big pharma. Won't do big pharma at all. The new world, the way of the new world is going to be... Hi, Cajun. Hi, Stacy. The way of the new world is going to be a peaceful, kind, and loving way. And it's like, I never got to be a tender little girl. I didn't. Because people always were like, are you a boy or a girl? And I was like, well, I'm a girl, but I like to do a lot of things that people say are boy things, And then they made fun of me, but I excelled at it. I was good at it, So I got to a point where I just would learn how to be me, because people are going to talk trash about you anyway, so you might as well just be you. And then I overshot the mark because I was imbalanced and was very aggressive and a bulldozer to people. And it's like, well, if I'm not going to get my way, I'm going to take my way. But then that just leads to a freaking a path of well, well, look at Hollywood. Look at how Hollywood's doing. Kajin, I think you nailed it. I mean, if freaking, uh, what's her old girl, LN, if she's got problems with alcohol, you know, and I've heard her stories from her abuse accounts from when she was younger and stuff like that. But see, people have free will to live in their spirit or live in their from their ego, and she just chose to live from her ego. She made that conscious decision. And so now, for people that have been living like that, there's hell to pay for that, and nobody can blame themselves but themselves. Nobody can. I can't even blame myself. You know, I can talk about having the best intention of why I don't have water, you know, but my at one point my brother had, you know, he wanted me to just put my mom in a home. He wanted me to put my mom in a home like 10 years ago. His recommendation actually was to just put all of her stuff outside on the sidewalk and then change the locks. But he's a lawyer. You know, that's how lawyers, and he's an ego, so he is all about, he can shut aspects of himself off where I can't shut aspects out. I can't ignore feelings, I can't ignore emotions. And you'll find that when people do act like that, Mom and I were talking about that today, is that stress manifests in people in different ways. So like people that hold back a lot, that don't speak their truth, they often have dental problems. Okay, now my bottom teeth were always pretty straight, but I spent the $4,000 on my braces about 6 years ago. I got them off, so I was old. I was old with braces, and so that's something, because people really judge people by their teeth. They do. They do. They say they won't. People say all day long they don't judge books by covers and stuff like that, but it's a lie. I read energy, and the world is shifting to that, so for that I'm grateful. But what was I talking about? So me and Mom, she's 69. She's had a stroke and like other like physical health problems, and other problems too. She's had a lot of problems actually. But her teeth, has all of her own teeth. And I was looking at her hands today. She has like one little bruise. I think she hit like a doorknob or something. But she has no liver spots on her hand. I was like looking at them today because I look at people's hands, because usually if I like somebody's hands, I'll like them. But if I don't like their hands, we probably ain't gonna be cool. And so I noticed people's hands, and older people, 69, they just have like these liver spots and blotches of bruise and stuff all over their hands. And Mom's in pretty good shape. I am happy to report that she's in pretty good shape. You know. It took some doing to get here, because she's a pride, willful woman, and she doesn't like to be told what to do. So it hasn't been without her struggle, but see, you gotta make right. Even if you hate your parents, or if you don't know your parents, you have to forgive people for pain that you have based on their behavior. You have to, because if you hang on to that pain, it's going to manifest in a very physical way. And my brother, Mr. Lawyer, Mr. Six Figures, has it all, beautiful family, all that stuff, you know, has had like how many root canals, all this stuff. He's had braces 2 times, all this stuff. He grinds his teeth in his sleep. I don't know. I've never heard a sound like anything else. The PSI involved in the sound that he's made, that I heard when we were kids, if he's still doing that, he's gonna have falsies before he's 60. But my point is, stress comes out in physical ways. So people gotta get out and get moving to you know, just go for a walk with your family. Shoot, man, it's been so hot. As soon as the sun goes down and the temperature drops, I just want to be outside. I just want to be outside, you know. But like now, I mean, like last night, I wanted to sleep outside. And then it's like, don't get crazy there, Marge, because all the mosquitoes and stuff like that. But Anyway, people are coming into their heart space, and I know it's scary. And for us macho types, man, just give us a break. Just give us some room to just, because these feelings and shit, man, it ain't cool. And if you haven't had people that were like supportive with you, and that when you were growing up, and that didn't put their arm around you and love on you, and when you were scared tell you that you were going to be okay and all that stuff, and if you had like the masculine representation in the programming and dialogue that you just suck it up and have to get over it and all these things, you know, it takes some time to shed that. The vibration of love to us hard asses is a very high frequency, and to some it can be construed as very scary. So if you think people are big and bad and tough and stuff like that, we are the biggest freaking ninnies, wussies. We just had to get tough because the world was hard on us. That's all. So take some allowance on us, okay? This weekend. Come at us with love. Well, I'm saying this to me too. If I go out, I don't know if I'm gonna go out. I think I just might make some butter tomorrow. I got some flour today to make some butter. Hang out with mom, watch some funny shows. Trying to transmit some of this energy for maybe that other people might be going through. Cause hell, man, I spent the first 46 years of my life going through all these harsh energies, and I'm dropping it. And that's what this time is. If you've dropped it, if you let those pains go, you never got to pick them up again. If you go into and realize that you got a shadow, and that you aren't always going to say the right thing and do the right thing, and that you're going to make mistakes, as long as you can recognize them as mistakes and then be able to go out in public and say, listen, I'm a spirit having a human experience. There's a bee, and I was acting a fool, and I did this, and my goal is to not behave like that anymore. But because if anybody can act a fool, it's me. I've never met anybody in my life that can act as big as a fool as me, because I'll say that thing, and I'll do that thing. I'll say that thing and I'll do that thing that whoever is in the room is thinking, I hope she doesn't say that thing, and I hope she doesn't do that one thing. So if somebody puts it in their vibrational frequency, I will pick up on that, and I will frickin' heyoka, and I will say that thing, and I will do that thing. Yep. So trying to modify my behavior, that's what I struggle with my whole life, is people try to modify my behavior. Calm down, Margie. Relax, Margie. So condescending. Easy, Margie. You know who doesn't feel feelings? People that don't have feelings. There are people that don't have feelings. They used to have feelings, but they just have neglected them and shoved them and locked them so far into a box that they will never address them in this incarnation ever again. And they'll do things and they'll act like they have them, because that's what you do, is you watch people and you see how they act. See, I had to act for years about how people act kind and loving to their family members, because my family members were such shits to me. They were just, I had step monsters that would lock us out all day, and then to make up for it, make us milkshakes, only to find out that she blended liver in the milkshakes because she knew that liver made me gag. And what people think is funny, and now that people are starting to see all the innuendos and all the stuff like in Hollywood and in movies that isn't cool. I went down an anthole with made me freaking throw up in my mouth, because I remember, because my dad was a young buck, hip, jive, cool, all that stuff. So yeah, I remember watching Blue Lagoon when it came out in the theater. I think I was 6. But like R and all that, as long as you're with the parent, kids don't know what's going on. They don't understand. I knew, dude, they were cousins. And they had babies. She was 15. when they made the movie. I'm sure, I don't know how old he was. I don't know if he was over 18, but it was basic freaking like Jump. I mean, come on. It's always been that way. I haven't watched SNL. I used to watch it like in the early 90s. I used to watch Conan in the early 90s too. Back when these people were in their heart space, when they're like, oh, I can't be a scumbag because I'm just trying out, but then they got big for the britches and then they went dip too far in their ego. But I remember watching SNL, back in the early 90s. That was like like Adam Sandler and Phil Hartman and all, it was funny. And and uh and then when I quit watching, every now and again I'd peek in every now and again to see who the guests were. And a couple years back I peeked in and the Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, was on. I never watched SNL ever again. He was pitching a child molesting robot like as a scientist. And you could tell that he was so awkward that and then, I mean, at what point do stars go, I can't say these words because I am representing these things in some way? Because if I can say these words, I never understood when I was a little girl how people that were like, could act like they were married, kiss other people on screen and stuff like that. I had a hard time with that. It was wrong. It was always wrong. You don't kiss anybody that you're not married to or that isn't your person, It's bad karma. And yeah, he was a child. He created a child molesting robot. And so, because a robot could molest more children because it wouldn't sleep. And I was just like, when did shit like that get funny ever? And see, because I'm a person that had something like that happen to me when I was 10 months old. Little baby. So my whole life people said, no, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. Heather O'Rourke. Yeah. Rich people are fucking unimaginative and they're creepy and they're gross when because especially the ones that never ever had to work or earn anything themselves. The ones that are just always been given something, that it's been in their bloodline. It's in their genes. Their privileges in their genes, and I don't give a fuck what the shit of your color is in. Because it's all vibe. It's all vibe and frequency. And when people be vibing no vibe, there's no spirit than that. And I don't care what color you are. We're all just shades of the one color wheel. One color wheel. One disco ball. Just one. And when anybody tries to impose an idea that there's a hierarchy, that there's classes, and that anybody is at all in a better position than anyone, get the fuck away from them. They just a jive turkey and run. Jive talking. La 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 la. Yeah. No merit. They got no argument. No merit. Anyway, I think that's about all I got. I should go in. I thank you guys for hanging out and reading some of the comments. And I started, thank you, pretty eyes, for stopping through to see what I'm about. And also that's the thing, is I'm changing the dialogue, because I don't let people use words like bipolar, schizophrenia. That's all full spectrum. They're all just tuned in, and that's what people. I was explaining to Mom today. I said, Mom, people are getting so tuned in frequentially to people. We're just radios. So people are getting so tuned in to their neighbors across the street. All the Aries that are, they're all feeling the same way. They're starting to think, they're picking up on energies like, I hate my wife, I want to kill my wife, and they're like, what the fuck? I'm not even married, I don't even have a girlfriend, but people receive data from so many different ways than just this, and cell phones and newspapers. We are clairvoyant beings, and people are just figuring out what the fuck their superpowers are. Go check out it's a pretty brief, because he just hits on all of them. It's the Peace Stealer on Instagram. He does a little brief deal on every astrological sign and what their superpowers are. Yes. I highly encourage everybody to get in your chart, look at your stars, because the first step into mastering yourself, or mastering the world, is mastering yourself. You get to know your emotions. You go out in the world, ain't nobody else can control how you feel, and there is a power in that. There is a power, and control freaks don't have it. They don't have emotional control, because look at all the freaking money they purge, pissing away, trying to get control of things, because they don't have control within themselves. They don't got it. People do gross and seedy, nasty shit to get freaking abilities that everybody has access to. But not everybody has the discipline to do what it takes to get to the access. Yeah, you can be a black witch, you can do the bloodletting and do all the ceremonies, and Satan can be your ruler, or you could be a white, I guess white witch. I don't know, someone that doesn't believe in, I have a hard time picking flowers because I just want them to live forever, but they have their karmic life cycle too. I should show you guys my rose bushes again, because you can tell a lot about how people's gardens grow. You really can. So just be kind to yourself, because you're gonna start. You're gonna tune in on other people's frequencies and and just learn to decipher. That's why meditation is so rad. Learn to decipher between what is your emotions and what you know isn't. Because sometimes when I wake up, it takes me a minute. I'll have anxiety. I'm like, no, I have nothing to be anxious for. This isn't mine, Maybe the kid across the street had a test or so, something like that. But just understand that it's okay to recognize that not all the emotions that you feel are necessarily yours. And if you live in an environment where there's lots of people in your household, then that adds to it. If you live in a city where there's lots of people around you, that adds to it. All these things add to it. It's going to be all about self-care. Anyway, I've been running. My ego's, when I talk too long, that's just my ego. And I thank you all for stopping through. I hope you have a rad day. Peace. Okay. It hasn't rained in a couple days. But did I start? You want to see the flower? These are the little orange ones. It's supposed to rain this weekend. Someone said, yeah, they're all weathered, but this one I trimmed, but I got a lot of pink roses up there. Some red ones, the purple bush. Woo. Hopefully it'll rain soon. And then the other ones, they're kind of shriveled up and died. But that's just because of lack of water. But they were really pretty while they lasted. So be easy with yourself. Be easy with others. And I will be back in the morning probably. I like to do a talk about 8 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, Pacific Standard Time, before Mom gets up and around, because it's a different kind of vibe. I'm Gemini rising in Vedic, so I'm like the dual. At the end of the day, it's more of kind of a reflective type state. In the morning, it's more of a, putting thoughts together of what I put together and what I call my night shift. I hope you have a